So hi everyone, welcome to the RAMSS workshop / transition to undergrad session. I'm Jason, I'll be your student transition coordinator. I'll be your facilitator for today's session. So at any time, if you have any questions about the content we've gone through, don't hesitate to send me an email at eboost@ryerson.ca and I'll be definitely glad to help you. So let's get started. So what is RAMSS? So RAMSS is an acronym. It stands for something that's really long. Ryerson's Administrative Management Self-Service, or RAMSS. It's actually kind of interesting because for those who don't know, RAMSS is actually, well, it's the name of the actual service and this platform. Our mascot is actually RAMSS, Ryerson RAMSS. It's actually like it's very cute. You'll see it later on. So what is RAMSS used for? Well, it's used for updating personal information. And essentially, it's a one-stop shop for everything related to your student academics. So everything to do with you finishing your program and your degree, which also includes finances, tuition fees, and tax slips, viewing grades and requesting transcript, official transcripts, academic transcripts, and checking your degree progress and academic standing. So how far you are in your program and where you stand, if you're clear, you're on probation, whatever it might be. Enrolling into classes is a huge component of RAMSS, and also viewing your time and your class schedules to see what time you have class, what days you have class. So where can I find RAMSS? In the same place that you would log into my.ryerson.ca. And from there, I'll give you an option to log into the central authentication service system. You enter your MyRyerson username and your password. And then once you get in there, you'll have a bunch of tabs at the top. Click on the tab that says RAMSS. It'll load into a new pop-up window as well. So if you have a pop-up blocker or you don't have pop-ups enabled, you'll need to set them to allow Ryerson's website to give you that pop-up. Once Ryerson pops up in a window, you'll then see your student homepage. And that student homepage will let you check your classes, your personal information, your finances, everything we just talked about in the last slide. When it comes to personal information, this is where the university collects that information and stores it. So your information such as your name, your address, your postal code, your email, or your cell phone number. So that any way for the university to contact you regarding any important information they may contact you for. They may contact you for verifying your degree completion, or if you decide to work at the university as a student staff, this is a way for them to communicate any employer details with you as well. It's really important for you to have all its information up to date at all times because you'll never know when the university will contact you. And when the university contacts you, it's usually for an important cause. Academics, viewing grades, checking your marks, checking your GPA marks, where your standings are, and requesting transcripts. Those essentially sums up the main functionality of RAMSS on the academic portion of it. And enrollment, so searching for classes, adding classes, dropping, swapping classes, whatever it might be. In terms of academic information, selecting and enrolling into courses is a huge component of RAMSS. So when you begin enrolling into classes, you'll be on RAMSS. You'll be on RAMSS a lot, checking classes, checking times, making sure they don't conflict with each other. When you do course intentions, which is essentially a reservation for classes in the upcoming semesters, you'll be doing it through RAMSS as well. Everything that's related to courses and classes is done through the system. Checking your advisement report is a big one as well. So the advisement report actually is almost like your virtual assistant. It gives you a summary of what your degree requires. So every degree requires 40 credits. And within those 40 credits, they require a certain portion of core credits, a certain portion of liberal credits, upper and lower level liberals, and a portion of professionally related courses and open elective courses. All those courses can get a little bit tricky and confusing sometimes. So the advisement report actually lays out as a list what you need to do to finish your degree, what you've finished so far, what you're working towards, and what you still need. So it actually gives you a very good summary, almost like a virtual assistant, like I said. And financial information, I think this is a big one for some of you. This actually gives you an area to look at all the fees that you've paid to the university from tuition, any student fees, anything related to financial matters generally will run through the RAMSS system as well, which includes refunds and tax slips. So once you log into RAMSS, you'll actually see a section that under the RAMSS homepage, you can actually click under financial or even click under course academics, and you can see under my accounts, it will list account inquiries T2202, T4A. The name of these forms are actually government forms, and these are actually tax forms for you. When you pay your tuition, you actually get generated tax forms at the beginning of a calendar year. So the government generates new tax forms, and the university generates those tax forms roughly around January, late January, maybe even early February sometimes. And these tax forms are important in case you need to file the taxes for tuition, or in this case, if you work for the university or have any scholarships or bursaries. And this is a really important one as well. The undergraduate calendar. It's not so much a calendar per se, but it's a great schedule for seeing what you need to take for your program. It also is a really great schedule to look at what minors you can take, which is like minors are a secondary field of study in addition to your primary major. You can check minor listings. You can check all the liberal courses you can take, your electives, your open electives, your professionally related courses. You can even check university policies and rules, everything that's related to you as a student taking classes, and all the policies are on the undergraduate calendar. It's a great tool, and I would highly recommend you taking the time to take 10, 15 minutes reading the website out. So when you go into the undergraduate calendar, it's gonna look something like this. This actually updates every year. So every year around the beginning of March, the university will publish a new undergraduate calendar. And it's really important for you to access the most recent one. So in this case, this year, we're doing 21, 22. That's the most recent calendar. But as of next March, the university might update a new program, or it might change the program a little bit. So make sure that every March you use the most current undergraduate calendar. And you can see as a list right here, it lists programs and courses about Ryerson. It gives you a lot of information about the academics and the policy processes behind the school. So in this case, we're just going to focus on one really simple one for now. And right now, the arrow is pointing towards undergraduate programs. If you click that link, it'll give you an entire list of all the undergraduate programs that are offered at Ryerson University. And you would go into the list. And when you click on it, this is what you'll see. You can actually click on the program that you are in or you're interested in. So I'm in criminology, for example. I'll click on the criminology. These are actually sorted by the faculties as well. So once I click criminology, it'll give you some information about the program, any other full-time, part-time listings any information related to full-time and part-time listings of it, as well as any undergraduate admissions requirements. But more importantly, it gives you a breakdown of what you need to take to fulfill that degree requirement. So in this case, I clicked into computer science, and I can see first semester it's telling me to take CPS 109 and then 213. And it's telling me to take math as well afterwards. And then you can see at the bottom of that, it tells me to take a required group, one of the following courses. And then at the bottom, one course from lower level liberal studies. These are what we call core courses. The core courses are the courses that you have to take. There's no flexibility really in them. These are part of your mandated education in the degree, whereas liberal studies and professionally related courses, open electives, are considered technically electives. While they are still required of you to complete the program, you still have a choice of what classes exactly you want to take. So if you want more information on a particular class, let's say, I want to read more about CPS 109. I can actually click the hyperlink and it'll give me information. So in this case, I clicked CPS 633 as an example. It'll tell me the course description, the title, how long it's going to be, how it's going to be run, if it's a lab component, how long it is. And it also tells me any prerequisites, any requirements related to that class as well. This is the list of the lower level liberals. So when you click on that bottom list of liberals, you'll see this entire list of classes. Same thing as the course. So you'll scroll down, find the class that you're interested in. And if you want to read more about them, just click onto their course code titles, and it'll give you a course description and all relevant information that you need. Just note though, that some courses do require department approval, in particular some of the language courses. So for example, Arabic 101, Arabic 201, you can't just enroll into those classes. They belong to the language department, and they actually require you to take a placement test. Some of these actually also require department approval as well. And you'll probably ask, which one requires approval? Well, find the courses that you want to take, and then click on their course codes to identify what they need. And it will actually tell you in the course description, department approval required, whatever it may be, or a placement test needed. So some really important terms that you'll come to see when you use RAMSS, but not only RAMSS, but also in the undergraduate calendar. So we're going to cover a few of them really quickly. Prerequisite. A prerequisite is a course that is required before you take another class. So for example, if you took Accounting 101, you finish Accounting 101. That is the prerequisite for, let's say, the next level course, next level up, Accounting 201. So in order to take 201, you can't just enroll into it. You need to have the credit of Accounting 101 finished. That's the prerequisite. 101 is the prerequisite. An anti-requisite is a course that has content that's too similar to a specific course. So because there are a lot of departments at the university, and some of the programs at the university have similar teachings. So for example, in the business school, there are a lot of courses that are revolving around communications, a lot of them revolving around finance, marketing, business-oriented courses. And because certain courses teach almost identical content, but slightly different to gear towards their program. So they might be teaching communications for engineering, they might be teaching communications for business students, but fundamentally they are very similar. And the anti-requisites are restrictions on each other. So if you take the communication course for business, you can't be taking the communication course for engineers and earn both credits, because the whole idea of the university of you taking 40 credits is that each of the 40 credits that you earn, you've learned a new content, you've learned a new theory and knowledge behind every class. And co-requisite, a course that must be taken the same time as another course. You won't run into this too often, but sometimes you have class A and B that need to be enrolled together because they build on each other's course content. When it comes to academic standings, there are 3 primary types of academic standings. You can have a clear academic standing, which means that you're good, which means that you have no problems with the university, which means that, more importantly, your CGPA, your cumulative grade point average, which we'll talk about in a second, is higher than 1.67. The university has a minimum grade of 1.67 to maintain a clear standing. The next one is probationary status. Probationary status is when your CGPA drops from 1.00 to 1.669 or under 1.67. And during a probationary status, the university will require you to create a probationary contract. Essentially what it is that once you go on probation, the university is worried about the success of your degree. And so they'll have you get in touch with your academic advisor in your program, and you and your academic advisors will sit down and talk about what your best strategy is to get back on track, to get your grades above 1.67 GPA. And then as part of that contract, your advisors will recommend you taking a reduced course load, maybe 3 courses, maybe 2 courses, depending on the situation. And then from there, you'll sign the contract gets sent to the university. And then for that semester, you'll be taking that lightened workload. If you're able to, there's also conditions for that contract, and that contract will dictate if you continue in the university or you'll be required to withdraw. If during your probationary contract you score a higher CGPA of 1.67 and greater, you'll then leave probation and you'll be placed on the clear academic standing. And then you have the other one, which is the required to withdraw. Required to withdraw can occur in a few situations. It happens when your GPA drops below 1.00, or if you think, or during probationary status, you fail to maintain 1.67 or higher in that probationary term. So if you go on probation and the probationary status contract tells you that you have to score 1.67 or higher during probation, if you score only 1.5, then you will be required to withdraw from the program. There are other ways to get back into the university afterwards, and we can definitely talk about those on a different session, or send me an email. We can talk about the Fresh Start program and how you can return to the university if you do run into this situation. So we talked a little bit about GPA. GPA essentially is the grade point average. This is essentially your mark in the course. So it takes a combination of all the grades that you earned in that class and divides it by how many times, how many grade entries there are. The term GPA is the mark you got for just that semester, fall, winter, or spring, summer. And cumulative GPA is your overall degree mark. This is your mark starting from when you got into the university all the way to when you finish. This mark is important because they will use it for scholarships. They'll use it for graduate school if you decide to chase your master's or your PhD. And on the right side, you can see a bit of a conversion breakdown of how Ryerson does their GPA scales. So we do it out of 4.33, and all this information is actually found on the Ryerson website, ryerson.ca/student-guide/grades, which is placed right there below the chart. So we talked about core courses a little bit earlier as well. So core courses are the main set of courses that teach the essential learnings of a program. These courses can't be substituted. So if you go into an accounting program, the core courses are generally accounting, as an example. Liberal study courses. So these courses are classes that help students understand, essentially, and appreciate social and cultural context related to a field of studies. This gives you this liberal study courses help you become a better rounded individual by the time you finish university. And these liberal courses are broken down into 2 lists, a lower level and an upper level. Lower level courses are generally more for first and second year students, and they are generally more on the more lenient side as students transition into university. Whereas upper level liberals are more for upper year students, third year, fourth year students, and they will be teaching more advanced concepts in those classes, as well as expecting more of the students because they've been into the school for at least 2-3 years already. As a note, you can actually substitute these 2 as well. So you can actually substitute upper level. You can actually substitute lower level liberals with upper level ones if you'd like, but you can't substitute lower level ones for upper ones. This is a more complex and more advanced area of talking. So definitely send me an email and we can discuss more if you have any questions. Professionally related courses are classes that help develop an understanding of a professional field or study. So a professional field or study generally includes fields of studies that include that are oriented around more business, science, technology, or engineering, STEM. And open elective courses are generally courses from other undergraduate class programs, other core courses that students from any other program may take to become a better rounded individual or just improve their overall knowledge. So in order to use RAMSS, RAMSS can be a bit tricky and complex to use at times, but the university has a great guide on how to use RAMSS on a step-by-step basis. So if you actually go to the link right there, ryerson.ca/RAMSS support/students, they walk you through all the technical components of RAMSS, where you can find this, where you can find that, and how to do those things, as well as the right people to send information to or questions to if you have questions or technical issues with RAMSS. I know we kind of breezed through that really quickly. That was a lot of information, but let's just recap really quickly what you need to know as an incoming student, especially when it comes to enrolling into classes in August. Step 1, enrollment. So as an incoming student, your core classes are enrolled for you automatically, but this is only for you during the first year. The university does this because you won't have access, by the time you come into university, the course selection times periods have already ended. That's why they've already picked the core courses for you already. However, because they've picked the core classes for you already, this doesn't mean that you can't change them. If you like, you can always look through RAMSS and change different sections. So if your core class has 3 sections and you want to change them, you can definitely do that, change the times that work better for your schedule. You'll still need to look for liberals and other electives to roll into. The university doesn't know what electives you're going to want, so that's all on you to enroll into those classes. Change enrollment. You can actually make changes to what you've enrolled into during your enrollment dates or open periods. And in this period, you can actually add, drop, swap courses into your schedule in this period as well. Just know that there is actually a timeline, a deadline to enroll into classes. Every year has a different deadline. You can only add, drop, swap classes during a particular date. And then step 3, course intentions. You'll hear the term course intentions being thrown around a lot, but course intentions are basically like reservations. So think of reservations that you have for a really busy restaurant. The restaurant needs to know how many people are coming, how much food to make, and all those details in advance date. So same idea. So to help the university plan, all students are mandated to participate in course intentions. And course intentions happen generally in March. And in March, they ask you to declare what classes that you might be interested in taking. So in March, I'm finishing my first year. I'm finishing up my winter term for first year, but I'm starting to look at what classes I want to take for second year. During course intention period, I'll be enrolling into my second year classes and even some of the second year elective classes if necessary as well. And these are not final lists too. The course intentions are just so the university can figure out how many sections to offer, how many teachers they need to allocate, and how many spaces they need to leave open. During the actual enrollment dates, you can actually drop classes. You can actually drop, add, swap your course intentions as well, in case you change your mind later on. But these are some really significant dates for not only first year students, but all students really. I would recommend you to have a look at this list. This information is actually found on the undergraduate calendar under significant dates. So I've actually broken down what date it is, what they are, and I've also mentioned in a very simple summary what this means for you. And if you have any questions, please feel free to contact our program coordinator or email elslfoundation@ryerson.ca. So if you have any questions about what we talked about today or anything related to the ESL Foundation, please send us an email and we'll be happy to help you.